talk a little bit tonight about Bernardo Silva's performance a bit more. I know KJ started to, and then he kind of went off on how he was feeling. But I want to go to Brandon on this. He hasn't spoke yet. How good was Bernardo Silva tonight, in your opinion?
Top class, Terry. And this is the difference with Manchester City. Like, their players, it doesn't matter who it is. They step up at the right times. We've seen Gundogan stepping up for them at the right time this season. Bernardo Silva again tonight. He seems to step up in the big moments as well. And yeah, top class performance, not just from him, but from their entire team. You know, I sat there tonight watching the game, and all you can do is just, what can you say apart from wow? And that's about it. You know, I don't see how Manchester City don't win the treble now. I really, really don't. I don't see how Inter can get anywhere near them in that final. I don't see how Manchester United can get anywhere near them in the FA Cup final either, because with Manchester City playing the way that they are at the moment, there was only ever one team that could compete with them in this competition, and that team just got slapped 4-0 tonight. Yeah. I don't see Man United or Inter getting anywhere near City. I really, really don't, because they're just a machine at the moment. They really are. And it makes it even more frustrating as an Arsenal fan, because we found ourselves in a position where we was 8 points clear of them somehow, and we managed to bottle it, and now it's looking like they're going to win the Premier League next week, or this weekend, should I say. But yeah, that is the level to strive for, you know, for all football clubs with big money, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea. We've got to somehow reach that level. I think we're probably the closest to doing that based off of what's happened this season. But we're going to have to spend some big, serious money in the summer. And yeah, we'll see what happens next season. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it looks pretty ominous for a lot of other clubs. In terms of the game tonight, Mo, why were City? What is it that you think City have got that makes them this dominant and enables them just to win the ball back so quickly, pass through their opponents, and almost render Real Madrid blind? Because Real Madrid couldn't see their own players, they couldn't make passes. It almost took all their ability away from them. What was it about the performance tonight that did that?
Movement off the ball, number one. When they had the ball, they were chasing shadows. Real Madrid, this guy Pep Guardiola is a genius. He put Kevin De Bruyne one side, Gundogan very close to Haaland, so Real Madrid players actually didn't know what to do. We have seen Camavinga lost on the pitch many times today and didn't know who to mark. It was Kevin De Bruyne or it was Gundogan coming this side. And off the ball, Man City were absolutely very aggressive in terms of their press, not leaving any space for the passes. We saw that ball when Luka Modric asked his teammates to move, and they said, I think Rodrigo told him, where do I go? There was no place to go. There's no place to pass. So to be honest, this is how Man City wanted to play the first 35 minutes of the first game, but they couldn't do it at the Bernabeu. But because the pitch is bigger, off the ball, John Stones today was absolutely magnificent off the ball movement. And it's just, be honest, today Pep Guardiola choked Real Madrid. You know, like, put Real Madrid under your feet and choke them. You're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? You have no space to move. It's a tactical genius today from Pep Guardiola. And Ancelotti, with all the quality he has, he couldn't match it. He couldn't match the intensity that this Man City team were off the ball with or without the ball. Like, once they lost the ball, on it, from the first second, we're getting the ball back. There's no space for you to move, to be honest. Tactical genius, Pep Guardiola today. I know that.
Yeah, go on. No, I was just going to say the same thing. City play with such a high intensity, the way that they flood the midfield as well. And obviously, you know, Real Madrid, aging squad, Luka Modric and Kroos in the midfield, they just haven't got the legs. They can't cope with City, and the way that they press as well is just ridiculous. It really is. They just suffocate you. They really, really do, in all positions of the pitch. So, yeah, you could tell from like the opening 5 minutes, there was no way in hell Real Madrid was ever going to make any form of comeback today.
There's a lot of unity. Like, it's not just technical. It's not just tactical. It's not just physical, and it's not just mental. It's all of those four facets of football that they dominate in. Like, I think the Pep's Barca team arguably was better technically. You know, obviously they had incredible technicians, some of the best in the world, some of the best in football all time. But arguably at the same time, even though they were physical, I think their physical attributes were underrated. This Man City team, I think there's something that Pep's emphasised after coming to England. They've all built, they're all fit, they're crazy fit, they can sprint around. Even, think about it, this is the semi-final, this is the end of the season, this is when teams are faltering physically. And that team, for the first 65 minutes or so, looked dominating physically as well.
Yeah, and that's why when people say, "Oh, all we need is technical footballers," like especially at Man United and other teams, all we need is technical footballers. I'm sick of this Brexit style PMP, passion, desire kind of footballers. No, you need both, because Manchester City did not win that game without passion, desire, and physicality, because they were all over Real Madrid. And look at Real Madrid's midfield. Real Madrid had,
but you guys are hypocrites. You're hypocrites. Do you know why?
How am I hypocrite?
Because you say this is why you're not humbled. You be call all of you humbled. You're shocked because you said beautiful football can't win Champions League. You can't play this.
Wait. How am I a hypocrite? No, Hamza. How am I a hypocrite if I never said those words? I've never said.
Not you. But a lot of people say
you said me. You said I'm a hypocrite. I am not a hypocrite. I never said those things. I'm here trying to back you guys and say you've got it all. You've got it all, and teams need to match that. You can't. It's not enough just to have technical ability. They had Modric and Kroos, two of the most techie footballers we've probably seen in the modern era.
Very good.
Them man, even though they are older, yes, but people are saying, "Oh, players age up fine wine. They don't need the physicality. They don't need pace. They don't need strength to keep up with the play. They take the play. They move the ball around, bruv. They needed the PMP today."
But you know what's the key thing, KJ? KJ, the one thing I've seen from the City team is the unity. It's the united. I've seen this. Like before game, you see them, and there's so many leaders. Let me tell you, leaders is key. They've got too many leaders. You can see Diaz is a leader. Gundogan is a leader. De Bruyne is a leader. Haaland is a leader. Akanji can lead. They've got people who are absolutely smart leaders. They know, Akanji played the left back. Pocketed Rodrigo. What was Rodrigo? Kyle Walker knows what his job was. Vinicius was the best winger in the world. He made him look bad. And the 2 games, he destroyed Vinicius. What are we doing here? Diaz pocketed Benzema, one of the deadliest strikers of all time.
Hamza, I think what you've said there though, about leaders is very true. In conjunction with what KJ said as well. And I think everything Mo said, KJ said, and you said is the reason. World-class coach. There's a super chat earlier that said, when Pep leaves, there'll be a drop-off. If he is the greatest of all time, which you believe he is, Hamza, right?
Yeah, I believe he's the greatest by far.
Then there'll be a drop-off when he leaves as a cast-iron fact, because it means you're not going to get somebody in as good as him. On top of that, though, you have great technicians with wonderful physicality. Pep's evolved these football from what he was doing at Barcelona, because I don't think in 2023 you can win with yes, they had some pace in their team, but with the smaller technical players now, because over the last 15 years, football players have learned to be more techie who are bigger. So now you've got guys that are just as technical, but they weigh a stone or two more. They're going to, and they're faster than you, so they're going to outwork you. He's evolved there. And then you've said it right, the leadership. There are leaders in every single part of this football pitch. And what I love about this City team as a football fan is the risks they take. So when I was on Jack Grealish's back, I stand by every word I said at that point, because now what you're seeing from him is exactly what I was talking about. Yes, he was holding the ball up very well in a wide position. Henry was like, well, that's what I was asked to do by Pep. And I'm like, yeah, that was 10 years ago. Football's changed. Grealish needs to be running at his fullback. What have we seen in the last 2 months? This man's running at his fullback, going inside, outside. He's taking the risk. KDB, how many passes did he overhit and overcross tonight? 10? But he found one that made it through, and that is the all-important thing. And for me, Khabib, the MMA fighter, said this once: you can defend 99 out of 100 takedowns against me, but I'll get you with the 100th one. That is what elite athletes and sports people do. When you put this all together, it's why you're looking at one of the greatest English teams of all time. Treble or no treble, you're still looking at one of the greatest English teams of all time, in my opinion. They're just phenomenal. And the way they dismantled this Real Madrid team, who, yes, they're not a great Real Madrid team. They're a very good one. They're not a great one, in my opinion. And you can win the Champions League without being great. Because would any of you call Chelsea's recent team a great? Probably not. So you can win it without being great, but take nothing away from this City team. They are legitimately the real deal. They're the real deal, 100% the real deal.
This is also why, if you're a rival fan and you think, okay, City are going to win this Champions League, City were always going to win the Champions League at some point because they have incredible financial backing. They've got smart people in the back room and making footballing decisions. They've got a great coach and they've got great players. It's going to happen eventually. So it may not come as consolation.
No, Rack.
I mean, a treble thing
like this, my brother. That's the issue here. If they had just won the Champions League this season, it would have been, you know what? Cool. I can deal with that. They finally did it. Hurrah, finally. Well done to City. They're about to do it with a 3-peat and a treble. No one wants this. I do not want this. This is disgusting. I hate it. Absolutely.
Do you guys think this, if they win the treble, this will be the crown, the best team ever, winning a 3-peat and at the end of it, winning a treble in your own country? And can I add one thing, Terry, before you go on?
Go on, bro.
In the toughest league in the world and the most competitive yet. This is more important than the Spanish league.
I've got to stop you now. The Premier League's always been competitive.
No, he's talking about it's better than Spanish league. He's saying it's better than Spanish league.
Yeah. I'm talking about Barcelona. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in terms of English teams, greatest teams, I don't think it'll be crowned the greatest European team of all time. The English press won't do that, but they will crown it above the Man United team. But my caveat and pushback if they do it is this: look at the teams that Man United had to beat and circumvent in the 1999 Champions League. And look, Hamza, you're shaking your head, but don't disrespect that era.
I know.
That Juve team, that Inter team, that Barca team, that Bayern Munich team were all considered world-class teams at that time. I don't think this year, and it's not a dig at you, but it's a fact, I don't think Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Real Madrid, any of these teams are of that standard. So the reason I don't want to get into a full debate on it tonight because it's for after. Save it to the end of the season if and when it happens.
Okay, I'll wait for that.
But for me, that's an argument that you have to throw in there and look at. Equally, you look at the Premier League. City have been brilliant this year, but would you call this current Arsenal team a great team? Would you say they're a great football inside? No. Who did Man United beat to the league in 1998? Many Arsenal fans say their greatest ever team that won the double the year before. So there are arguments for both sides of it. And I think at the end of the season, if the treble's done, because again, I can't call you it yet. You ain't done the treble yet. If you do it, we'll have that conversation. But if you don't do it, it's
that's where point tallies do become a thing. When you talk about
your signal broke up there, bro.
His signal was break because he's chatting nonsense.
Oh, my bad.
If I say something,
no. I was just saying because Terry was talking about teams and whether we would classify Arsenal as a great team. But that's when we have to look at the point tally with regards to what it would have taken to win versus another team in that league.
I disagree because football's changed and football has evolved in that time period. So the fitness levels now, the diets of players now, would you agree is better now than it was 25 years ago? 25 years ago?
Yeah. So sports science is better now than then.
Yeah. So
everything about football is better now.
So the greatest players, if you actually look at most sports, people run faster now, they jump higher now, but that's because of the developments in science. So having a few more points, having an extra 10, 15 points, and the deeper squads now, the money that's the financial monopoly the Premier League has compared to everywhere else, these things we factor in. But like I've said, we'll have that debate once the treble's been done, because until that point, it isn't done now. I've got to go to some more of these.
I will be there for it.
I've got to go to some more of these super chats here. The first a comment here that says, I like hippos. I don't quite know what that's about, but I like hippos is what I've been asked to read out.